You know, the enemy knows your weakness. And when you are on the path of something great, your weakness is going to show. What do I mean? Your weakness is going to show. You're going to have temptations put in your path if your weakness maybe is the opposite sex. You're going to have drug and alcoholism that wants to creep up on you when you're depressed. You're going to maybe not like certain people that are around you and want to disassociate from them because you place blame on others for things that are, going on inside of you. And there's many ways that that can come forward when you're building something great. And it's a very lonely process for people who are working at very high levels, um, more so than the average person. But I started realizing like nobody's really there for them. And the average person can't really relate to what they're experiencing because the average person is used to working a 9 to 5, coming home, and dealing with the average everyday problems. They're not used to dealing with some of the crazier things that creep up when you're dealing with, city ordinances or, state law, things like that. And there's a lot of pressure when you're working at such a high level. And unless you're really going to sit in and go to like a counselor or something, you're not really going to have somebody to talk to. So that's not really going to help you in that situation because you're not really looking for like a counselor for like emotional stuff. You're looking for like a mentor, a guide. Like that's how you got there, right? You had people to look up to, and you saw that it was possible and you follow their footsteps, and then you get to a certain point and you're like, okay, well, what next? And you find out your wife or your girlfriend, she doesn't really understand, or not a lot of women build at this level, but if you are a woman, like you don't usually have a boyfriend who's fitting that as well because they are wanting to do average people things, right? Clubbing and it's just like a lot of wasted time. So anyway, I thought about this today and I thought I'm going to make a channel to help you wherever you're at right now on your path to continue to grow, continue to feel empowered because it's really, really challenging at that upper level, right? So yeah, I do a one-on-one as well, but today I'm just going to talk about manifesting, which I know you all know about how to manifest because that's what you've done, right? But like I really want to talk about this a little bit more, not in the sense that like, oh woo woo, I'm going to think something and I'm going to make it happen, but kind of where you're going wrong, all of you, even on if you're working with like $400 million projects or something, like you're definitely manifesting, but it's at such a higher level. So here's what I want to explain to you when you're doing this manifesting on these quantum levels where you're quantum leaping things, quantum meaning like getting there faster or a larger scale than the average human being, you have got to not lose faith. And that sometimes is a really hard thing to do when lending is not coming through or funding is not coming through or spouses are falling away and your friends don't believe in you. They don't see the end result that already exists, and time is just trying to catch up to you. So the reason why I bring this up is because this path that you're on is going to try to get you to doubt. Just like when, and I'm sorry to have to use biblical references, but that's what I'm going to do. Jesus went up into the hills for 40 days, 40 nights, and he was fasting, right? And it says the devil came to tempt him. And well, how did the devil show up? The devil showed up in a voice saying, oh yeah, if you're really who you say you are and you can do the things you say that you can do, then throw yourself down and this cliff or do this and do that. And this is, if that's really going to happen, then this will happen, right? This will happen, huh? Like doubting himself, these inner voices that come up and they're like telling you in your ear, like maybe you're wrong. Maybe this thing that you're building isn't going to work. Maybe this thing that you have worked all of your life for is going to be a failure. And oh my gosh, don't let that get a foothold on your mind at all, because the second you do, those negative energies come in and that project takes longer, or actually you can self-sabotage and it could potentially not succeed. And we need that. So I want you to have faith in something. I want you to have faith in the collective. So everything that is ever going to be in existence already was and already will be in existence. It's already done. So you're just like kind of like the vessel and like bringing the momentum. So I'll give you an example. When people were coming across the United States, right, and they were in covered wagons and they were gold mining and they were doing these things, never when they were traveling did they understand that these little footsteps that they were taking that were very big and brave collectively got us to skyscrapers. But how would they have ever known? So wherever you're at today, especially if you're a large building, you might think this is for right now. Okay, but this is a huge community experience. Okay, that's why we have the builders that come in, and the workers in the retail, support positions, customer support. We have many people working for one thing, and we as leaders need to understand it isn't just for what we're creating today. It's what's already been put in motion that is going to create something 30 years from now, when 100 years from now, even when we're not even around, we're not alive, we're dead. And am I allowed to say the D word? So anyway, so it's generational. It's not just generational wealth, it's community. It's general impact, global impact. Tell me the average person that understands at that level, and you're really not going to find them. So that is why we have a responsibility in our manifesting at our level to manifest broader. Okay. So when you're in doubt, you need to go 100 years from now, not tomorrow, but what your footsteps are doing 100 years from now. And you need to have faith that it's all part of the grand plan. Okay. I really hope that this helps you. And I also want to just say one more thing, because I mentioned this to a friend of mine. But a lot of times when you're having this forward progress, and the stakes are very, very high, right? And we're going to have a huge impact in our community, or the country that we're in, wherever we're doing these things. You're going to find opposition, not just from people, but it comes in like a spiritual way, right? Like people all of a sudden that we were close with, they're like breaking off, or certain things try to fall through. But guess what? All right, energies know you. So whatever your weakness is, you better be on the lookout. That is what that energy is going to try to tempt you with, to pull you away, to distract you, to get you discouraged, to see that you fail, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sexual addiction, spousal arguments, whatever your soft spot is going to be challenged, because where there's one energy, there's the other. And the only way to combat that is to go so hard into the light and into the truth that the darkness has to leave. Like you can't even be here. And you can speak it out loud. I tell people, what you speak produces. Anytime those thoughts start to come into your mind, or if those challenges arise in your life, you are going to speak out loud against it. You can just say stop, no. Like make sure you're not in agreement. Because the second you start to go and you start to participate in whatever that weakness is, you're in agreement spiritually and energetically. And I don't want that for you. So I hope this helped you today. And if you need any more advice, I do take one-on-one clients on a selective basis. And thank you so much for doing everything that you've done. And I just hope your journey is a successful one. And I hope I can be there for you in any way possible. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.